Okay, a little bit of a long night tonight. I think those first three innings took like almost 2 hours, didn't they? Yeah, we got off to a slow start there on the mound. And then, Blake Money came in and gave us a good inning, and then he started to struggle there. And I thought the key to the game really was Ma'Khail Hilliard. Seems early in the season here, we've been getting a great relief performance out of one guy in some games where our starting pitching hasn't been real good, and they've taken control of the game. And it was so nice to see Ma'Khail Hilliard right himself after having a rough outing the other day. I think on Friday, he was really throwing the ball well as he can, and really dominated the game there. And then I thought the guys coming out of the bullpen really did a good job. I think Fontenot threw the ball good after he walked the first two batters. Aaron George was tremendous. And then, Hasty, I thought, threw the ball really well too. So outside of the rough first inning and then the third inning, we pitched well. I thought our defense was really tremendous. And I thought we hit the ball a lot better than what we had to show for it. Even though we had 10 runs and 10 hits, I mean, we hit a lot of balls really hard, either right at them or they made some really tremendous plays against us. Otherwise, I think it would have been a game where we probably would have scored 15 runs or so and probably had 15 or more hits. But, I thought we swung the bats pretty well. So all in all, good game for us, and time to turn our attention to UNO on the road tomorrow.
Coach David from Rivals, just talk about the presence of Trey Morgan at the plate tonight. It just seems like even his outs are loud right now. Is he just seeing everything and hitting the ball well?
Yeah, I haven't seen the box score, so I don't know what his numbers were. What are they, David, for the game?
He finished 3 for 5, and he drove in 4. So
yeah,
with 2 triples.
Yeah, well,
or with a triple. Sorry.
When you give a guy a 3-0 green light, that's the way you want him to swing. You want him to get his money's worth. He hit that triple there to drive in those last 2 runs. But it's not just right now. He's been seeing the ball good since he walked on this campus. I every time I do an interview and people ask me about Trey Morgan, I can't remember any more superlatives to say about the kid. He's just a really outstanding ball player in every way, shape, or form. And tonight he was very clutch. Came through with some big at bats, as did, I know, Cade Doty did. What did Doty do? Bill Frankus just handed me a box, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And those two guys, between the two of them, drove in 7 of our 10 runs. So obviously, both of them had big nights for us, and they carried the team tonight, really.
I guess it's me, Coach. What did you like about Doty being at third? Why did you decide to?
What didn't I like? He was outstanding. I thought I was actually going to make that move, Mike, a week ago, and then he got hurt that night. He didn't know it, but after that game, I was going to talk to him and tell him that he was going to come in on Sunday morning. And we're going to move him to third base, but of course that conversation never took place because he got hurt. Celebrating Drew Bianco's home run there and that freak injury, and everything got put on hold. So I didn't have the conversation with him until, let's see, what's today, Tuesday? Till yesterday morning. And I texted him and told him to come and see me, and sat him down and told him what I wanted to do. And he was all for it, and, anything for the team attitude. And I just thought it was the right thing to do. He's played a lot of third base in his life before he came to LSU. When he did what I call the circuit, with all the best players in high school around the country, he traveled around the country, primarily played third base. And then I moved him to second here because initially he was struggling defensively at third, and I didn't want anything to affect his hitting. And I thought second base was a much more easy position to play. It wasn't as taxing, skills wise. But he's older now. He's more confident. He's more physical, and he's ready to be able to handle third base. And he took ground balls yesterday and today. Before the game, he played a lot of balls off the bat in batting practice, including he handled a lot of smashes and took a good pregame infield. He made a couple plays, I think, in the game, and his arm was outstanding. So I think he did a good job, and I think Jordan Thompson did a really good job at short. And I think, Zach Arnold, probably second base is the best position for him, so I like the way that infield looked today, especially
His
with anytime Trey Morgan's at first base, it looks good.
Kid's pretty special.
What were you-
His experience play into that, just kind of the nerves as well at third.
For
Yeah,
Cade,
Cade, yeah.
what do you mean?
Not having nerves, or kind of knowing
Yeah,
what to expect.
that's what I'm saying. Third base is such a difficult position to play, and I think being a year older and having even though we didn't play a full season last year, he's just a year older. He played in the summer. He's confident. He's the leader of our offensive team, really. 3-hole hitter. I mean, he's a very confident, self-assured kid, and he knows he can play. He was a really good third baseman when he played in high school and during the summers. So I think he'll handle it fine. And this looks like we finally found the right combination, and I think this is going to be the way to go forward with.
Paul, you had also talked about yesterday about wanting to get Ma'Khail and Devin, get them going a little bit. So how encouraging was what you saw out of them tonight, especially Ma'Khail going 3 1/3 scoreless?
Well, yeah, Ma'Khail was really good tonight. I mean, really outstanding. And I actually went in and watched one half inning that he pitched in on TV because I really wanted to see the movement on his pitches. And man, his fastball was really moving, cutting. And then his curveball had such a nice tight spin on it. It looked like the Ma'Khail Hilliard of old. And I think he even hit 90, 91 miles an hour a couple of times. So he looked really good. I mean, he could have continued, but I wanted to shut him down at 40 pitches so that we'd have him available this weekend for some in relief. And had he gone another inning, say through 15 more pitches and got up to 55 pitches, it'd been questionable whether or not he could have pitched again this week. And I wanted to get Fontenot out there, and I had told Fontenot I wanted to bring him in earlier in the game, where he didn't feel like, one batter, one pitch was going to, determine the outcome of the game like it does when you pitch in the 9th inning. And I just wanted him to get out there and let it rip a little bit more. And we end up having a close game. He ends up walking the first 2 batters he faces, so the tying runs at the plate, even though it was the 7th inning instead of the 9th inning. But I think it was still a confidence builder for him, to get those last 2 outs, the big strikeout with runners on second and third and 1 out, and then the strikeout to end the inning. I think it was a big confidence builder for him. So we're going to need those 2 guys certainly as we go forward. William Weathers, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, sir. You mentioned Ma'Khail. The time that he came into the game, he kind of helped restore some order because it was kind of getting hairy there. He held you to tell him the 4-2, and then your offense came back. So just talking about the time he came in, it was very important. And thereafter, he kind of settled things down for you.
We've had some great starting pitching this year. Especially on the weekends. Most of the starts over the first 3 weekends on the weekend from Jaden and Landon, and all of Landon's starts have been great, and 2 out of 3 starts from Jaden and AJ have been great. A couple of the midweek starts haven't been so great, and we've had to have somebody come in and take control of the game. And I know Javen Coleman did it one time for us, I think in relief of AJ Lavis. I think Blake Money did it one time. Now Ma'Khail did it. That's what you got to do sometimes to be able to win a game. It doesn't always go according to script. So, as a manager of the team, you sit with your pitching coach and you map it out. If everything goes according to plan, this is how we're going to manage the pitching for the night. Okay, what happens if, everything goes kaput right out of the gate? Then what? So you always hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And I expected Blake Money to come in and be able to give us 3 innings in that situation. He gave us 1 great inning, and then they got on to him a little bit there. And he's going to have to continue to develop his off-speed pitch to get him off his fastball a little bit. And that's what happened is he couldn't get his breaking pitch over, and they just kept, sitting on his fastball. And then he got a little bit wild with his fastball, started to get fatigued there in that third inning, his second inning of work. And then Ma'Khail came in and got us a big out with the bases loaded and settled in and pitched 3 great innings for us. So Ma'Khail was the MVP of the game tonight. You know, if he hadn't done what he did, like you said, William, it could have been really hairy, but he got control of the game, allowed our guys to start swinging the bats, and, you know, we got enough runs to win the game.
With Jordan Thompson now at shortstop, you'd said during preseason practice he'd been a little bit inconsistent. Has he shown you more consistency to make you feel confident putting him at that position now?
I thought Wilson that he really was starting to improve a great deal at third base. You know, I think Trey Morgan saved him, you know, a few errors, and that helped his confidence. But he became a little bit more sure-handed at third base, and you know, shortstop's his more natural position. He's played that his whole life. And I just see his confidence growing the more he's played. And, you know, he hasn't, you know, been perfect, you know, who is, but I feel like he's improved enough that it's worth taking a good look at him there. But, you know, we still have Collier Cranford. We still have Drew Bianco. If Jordan falters, you know, we have other options there. But at least now I feel comfortable with third base with Cade there, and at second base with Zach Arnold there. And I feel confident that Jordan will do the job, and we're going to give him every opportunity to do the job. I thought he played really outstanding tonight, defensively especially. So hopefully he'll continue doing it. And, you know, kids are going to make errors. Nobody's perfect. You know, as long as he's, you know, making the errors aggressively, you know, he, like that last play, he charged that ball very confidently. And that's what I want to see. What concerns me is when he hangs back and doesn't, you know, attack the ball, and he's not confident in the way he's going after it. That's when I get concerned. But tonight he was very aggressive and looked like he wanted the ball hit to him. Okay. Anybody else?
Coach, just one quick
Hey,
one.
Matt.
Yeah, I just the pass balls tonight, was that communication issue? It looked like one of the last ones. It was a cross up type deal.
The one with Ma'Khail.
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be a breaking ball, and it was a fastball because the way the cat Wyeth reacted.
It was a cross up. Ma'Khail was having trouble seeing the signal. Where the way Jake was given the signal, he said there was like a shadow, and he just didn't see the fingers correctly. So yeah, it was Jake was Alan called a breaking ball, and Jake gave a breaking ball signal, but Ma'Khail didn't see the breaking ball signal. So he threw it fast.
Is that just inexperience on Jake, like the way he gives signs, or what?
There's no excuse for it, really. If Ma'Khail doesn't know the sign, he's got to step off and call the catcher out and talk to him. In a critical situation like that with the bases loaded, there can't be any miscommunication at all. And, you know, Ma'Khail's an experienced player. He should know better, you know, instead of throwing something that he's not sure of the signal, he's got to, you know, it's a correctable thing. And
yeah,
we should have known in advance, you know, especially with an experienced pitcher. And, but, you know, it's something that Jacob has to be aware of as well, you know, and maybe we need to paint their fingernails or something to make sure that they can see the signal a little bit better. But yeah, that could have been a very critical mistake during the course of the game, obviously. But we were able to overcome it. So chalk it up to a learning experience.
Anything wacky for tomorrow night?
Nothing wacky.
I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, and then we find out about it. You know,
Wacky?
Yeah. Nothing wacky. No plans. Yeah.
Okay. See y'all tomorrow.